Why do Christians hate their parents? Spoiler, we don't. At least not in the way that we commonly use the word hate. But one time Jesus did say, unless you hate your parents, you cannot be my disciples. Well, that's only part of what he said. And it's enough to really shock someone. Generally, we love our parents and can't imagine being forced to hate them. And so, some people will whisper or argue that Christians hate their parents. And they'll even use this as proof that Christianity is a bad religion. But you're not so easily persuaded, are you? You know that there's probably more to the story, and that if you are to understand it, you will have to look at the whole and not just a piece. Jesus once taught a lesson about becoming a disciple or follower of his way. He said, "You cannot be my disciple unless you hate," and then he listed a group of people that a potential follower would have to hate. This list includes father and mother, wife and children, brother and sister, even one's own self. And by the way, that last one should be a clue that hate doesn't mean what we think it means. Generally, we don't hate ourselves, but seek to survive and thrive. Jesus is not done teaching here. Before his followers can wrap their head around this shocking statement, he teaches them further that they must count the cost to become his disciple. He uses two stories. First, a person who wants to build a tower must count the cost before construction. If he doesn't, and he runs out of money or materials, he will be foolish. The other example is of a king. If a king wants to fight another king, he must count the cost of his soldiers. If he only has 10,000 soldiers and he sees that the other king has 20,000, he may want to see if he's able to ask for peace. The point of the examples is this: can you really commit to this? Jesus is asking, if you want to be a Christian, can you count the cost it will have on your life and commit to following me? And someone might think, well, I get that. I understand that I have to be committed to Jesus. Yet maybe in their mind they're also thinking, but I love my parents. How could I hate them? We really need to put Jesus' words, hate your parents, into context. The Bible speaks a lot about the parent-child relationship. Children are commanded to honor their parents, to care for their elderly parents, to obey their parents, to listen to their fathers and not despise their mothers. So where does hate fit in with all this teaching about respect and honoring our parents? Well, we have to understand the word hate to make sense of it. Hate does not always mean what we think it means. Yes, in our language and culture, hate usually means to loathe, despise, extremely dislike. But we understand that saying, I hate pizza, is different than hating a person, right? In Jesus' language and culture, hate could mean something else too. The Bible definition can mean 1, to despise, or 2, to love less. And since the Bible commands us not to despise our parents, context obviously points to the second definition of loving less. Jesus, nor any teaching in the Bible, call on children to despise or loathe their parents. To hate, according to Jesus in this passage, means to love less. There is a higher love that Christians are called to. Here's the point. When Jesus says one has to hate his family, he is saying we must prioritize God first by loving our family less than him. This concept of loving God first is not intended to neglect, despise, or disrespect our parents. In fact, loving God first leads to loving others best. Loving God first leads one to better understand how to show kindness, respect, compassion, honesty, bravery, dependability, integrity, and so much more. A husband and wife who love God first, that is, more than they love each other, learns how to love and respect each other deeper than a self-centered relationship can offer. A parent and child who love God first, whether living together or not, learn to obey and honor better than living selfishly. Even prioritizing God first over self will lead to better mental health, contentment, and peace of mind. And what more? What other relationships benefit from putting God first? Your neighbors, co-workers, strangers, even enemies. When you love God first, you love others best. And loving God first leads a Christian to treat others the way we want to be treated, even if we're treated poorly in return. Do Christians hate their parents? Not in the sense of loathing, despising, or dishonoring. Christians prioritize God first, and when we love God first, we learn to love others best.